Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're gearing up for a move to study in Ireland in 2026, you've probably already scrolled through all the glossy university brochures, right? Well, today, we're going to bypass the marketing completely. We're going to give you the honest, pragmatic breakdown you actually need to make the smartest financial and academic choice for your future. I promise you, by the end of this, you are going to look at your options in a totally different light.
Here's our game plan today. We'll start with a strategic breakdown, then dive into Dublin, head over to Galway and Limerick, check out Athlone and Cork, and finally, we'll wrap up with national logistics. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the strategic breakdown.
So, we're focusing on 5 major hubs spread across the country: Dublin, Galway, Limerick, Athlone, and Cork. And as we evaluate these cities today, we're zeroing in on 4 absolutely crucial pillars: the actual real-world cost of living, the career opportunities right at your doorstep, the local transport systems, and of course, the university ecosystems themselves.
Okay, let me hit you with a hard truth right out of the gate. Defaulting to Dublin is the single most common mistake international students make. Look, it's incredibly tempting to see global rankings like Trinity College Dublin at 75 or UCD at 118 and just stop your research right there. But a university's global ranking doesn't pay your rent, and it certainly doesn't guarantee you a great quality of life. We really need to balance the scale here. You've got to weigh those prestigious rankings against housing affordability, graduate employment outcomes, and your own personal budget. When we break everything down across budget, rent, transport, jobs, and overall vibe, the contrasts are wild. Take the monthly budget alone. You're looking at a spread from around €900 in Athlone all the way up to €2,000 in Dublin. This kind of diagnostic comparison is going to be our foundation as we zoom in on each specific city.
Moving right along to Section 2, Dublin.
Dublin is undeniably electric. It's the career-first capital, home to massive global tech headquarters like Google, Meta, and Stripe. If your dream employer is strictly capital-anchored, this is the place to be, no question. But guys, I have to give you a very strong warning about the housing market here. The shortage is extreme, especially during that August student surge. In popular student belts like Rathmines, Phibsborough, and Drumacondra, basically every international student arrives in the exact same 3-week window, and landlords know it. You have got to start looking for accommodation 5 to 6 months before your course even begins, because shared rents can easily push up to €1,500 a month.
All right, Section 3. Let's head west and uncover Galway and Limerick.
Now, Galway? Totally different pace. It's the walkable, culturally alive, bohemian alternative to Dublin. Cycling and walking are pretty much all you need here, with prime student areas like Salt Hill, Shantala, and Bohermore sitting just a 20 to 30-minute walk from campus. Salt Hill, by the way, offers this incredible coastal lifestyle right on Galway Bay. It is a highly vibrant community, and it costs significantly less than the capital.
Then there's Limerick. And honestly, this place is Ireland's hidden employment engine. The massive standout here is the University of Limerick's mandatory co-op program. This is a real game changer. It literally gives you 2 semesters of paid, verified work experience before you even graduate. Think about that. You're earning an income, getting a solid Irish employer reference, and vastly accelerating your path to a critical skills employment permit, all while living in a really affordable, purpose-built student suburb like Castle Troy. Let's keep moving to Section 4, Athlone and Cork. Athlone is your ultimate value play. Because it's a Midlands town rather than a sprawling city, it boasts a far less competitive rental market than literally any other student hub in Ireland. You've still got excellent train links to Dublin, plus a smaller, tighter-knit international community. If you are cost-conscious, this is hands down the most affordable base in the country. And then we have Cork, Ireland's second city. Cork is warm, it's proud, and it is highly underrated. It punches way above its weight with unrivaled industry connections. We're talking a major manufacturing and research base for massive pharma and tech giants like Pfizer, Apple, and Johnson & Johnson. Plus, the housing pressure, while definitely still a thing, is just less acute than in Dublin, provided you start your search in the spring. Here's something that might blow your mind. Choosing a regional city can literally save you more money than the cost of your tuition itself. When you stack up the cost of living in Dublin against somewhere like Athlone, the gap is just staggering. That massive premium you pay for Dublin is really only justified if your specific program or your target employer absolutely demands it. €16,800. Let that sink in for a second. That is the massive amount of money you could potentially save on rent alone over a 2-year master's degree simply by choosing to study in Athlone instead of Dublin.
That is life-changing money that you could keep in your pocket or use to completely jumpstart your postgrad life.
Okay, final stretch, Section 5, National Logistics. Let's talk about the totally unglamorous but critical logistics of actually getting around. The Student Leap Card is your absolute lifeline for cheap daily travel. It drops a standard Dublin bus cash fare of over €3 down to a flat fare of around €1.80. But here's the ultimate hack. If you combine the Student Leap Card with the Young Adult Card, which is for anyone under 26, you get a massive 50% off public transport fares nationally. Seriously, whatever you do, do not pay full price for transit. And when it comes to traveling between cities on Irish Rail, here is your golden rule. Always book your ticket at least 7 days in advance. A walk-up ticket from Dublin to Cork could set you back €45, while an advance ticket is just $14.99. Think about it. A single walk-up ticket could literally cost you the equivalent of 2 days of groceries. Plan ahead, book early, and save your cash. Now listen up, because this is a brand new rule for 2025 regarding your Irish Residence Permit, or IRP. It used to be that you registered at a local Garda station in your university's city. Well, not anymore. All first-time IRP registrations for non-EEA students are now fully centralized at Burke Quay in Dublin, regardless of what city you're actually living in. You have to book your slot on the online portal the second your arrival date is confirmed, and you will have to travel to Dublin in person with your €300 fee just to get registered. Next up, a massive reality check for my viewers coming from India or China regarding driving. There is what we call a 12-month cliff. Your home driving license is completely invalid exactly 12 months after your first entry into Ireland. The tough reality is, neither India nor China is on Ireland's driving license exchange list. So after 365 days, you cannot legally drive. You have to start the full Irish driving test process completely from scratch. And that means you're looking at a pretty painful, mandatory 5-step process. First, you need a learner permit from the NDLS. Second, you have to pass a computer-based theory test, and heads up, Dublin slots for those fill up weeks in advance. Third, you are legally required to pay for and complete 12 essential driver training lessons with an instructor. Fourth, wait for and pass your practical test. And finally, step 5, you get your full 10-year license issued. All those steps, they add up. Between the theory test, the permit, those 12 mandatory lessons, the practical test, and the final fee, you are staring down a total financial impact of anywhere from €580 to €820. The big takeaway? You absolutely need to budget for this expense in year 2 of your studies, not year 1, when you're already burning cash just relocating. So, we've covered a ton of ground today, from the intense housing squeeze in Dublin to those massive savings in Athlone, the incredible workplaces in Limerick, and the sheer logistical realities of surviving as a student in Ireland. I'm going to leave you with this. What are your actual priorities? Is it maximizing your budget, fast-tracking your career, or securing a specific lifestyle? Take a long, hard look beyond those default rankings and ask yourself, which Irish city is truly the right strategic fit for your future? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and absolute best of luck with your journey to Ireland.